Welcome back, everybody. We got some exciting news today. As you can see from the title of the stream, we hit affiliate. So, congratulations, everybody. I honestly didn't think I'd make it this far, which is why I put the in the title that I need suggestions. What's up, affiliate? Thank you, Farrell. Welcome in. I need suggestions on what we should make point redemptions. I'm already thinking about a couple. Got a few stewing in my head right now, but those are what I'm excited to start playing around with a little bit. Oh yeah, that's so. At the end of the last stream, I said there was going to be a surprise. That's the surprise. Logos came in. We are officially going to, like this summer, we're going to start doing business as Shipwreck Coffee Roasters. And when I say we, I do mean we, because my wife will be very much involved with the whole thing, soup to nuts. So, yes, we are operating as Shipwreck Coffee Roasters. I think the logo turned out dope. All right, I think that logo looks excellent. I've got that logo where it's like picture and then text, and then I've got another logo that's picture on top, text below. The picture on top, text below will probably be what ends up going in or going on the bags. Okay. Is it absolutely required that the redemption be coffee themed? Absolutely not. So one of them that I'm thinking of is I've got a lamp sitting down here. I was just gonna put like the lamp in the corner there. Pretty much, Farrell, I'm gonna steal what your husband did and put the lamp in the corner and put one of my Philips Hue light bulbs in there. Or no, I'm going to need to get a color changing light bulb and put it in there. So you could like redeem points and change the color of the light in the room. Another one that I'm thinking of is back at home. I've got one of those, you know those like kitschy like it's a singing fish on the wall. Like you press a button and then the fish starts singing. I'm pretty sure with a little bit of tinkering, I could get that to get triggered by a Python notification, hook it up to a Raspberry Pi or something. Do a little programming there so that you could redeem that and then make the like Big Mouth Billy Bass start singing whatever stupid song he sings. Yes, the singing fish. Yes. So you'd redeem a certain number of points and then he starts singing. I think that would be excellent. Some other ones I'm thinking of are like get cat. So you redeem a certain amount. At any point during the stream, there's a cat just outside the door. So you redeem a certain number of points, and then I pick up the cat. Maybe I put him in the chair for a little bit or something. This room is largely cat-free, but for a point redemption, I could make an exception temporarily. What we're trying to open up right now is the latest order of coffee that we got. This is saying it's charged, but I like the bullet to get really nice and warm, and it also helps warm the room up a little bit too. So I'm just gonna let it tell me that she's ready to go for a little while. Get cat. I gotta get those set up first. I don't know if there's actually a cat there right now. I'll get a cat this one time, see if there's a cat. There's not a cat. Terrible news. Oh, maybe we'll have to call it cat check to see, like, you got to see if there's a cat. The family says hello to the cats and riled up. Well, hello. Welcome in here, my friend. You guys are all a big part of... Oh, whoa. They shipped me a burlap bag. Heck yeah. Gotta love free swag from Sweet Maria's. Oh man, this is dope. So these are one of the bags that the coffee would have been imported in. And they've got thousands of them lying around, so once in a while they'll just toss them in the bag or toss them in the box with your coffee order. Especially when you're like me and you spend hundreds of dollars there pretty regularly. Cut armholes and wear it. Actually, I was considering going out and purchasing one of these and cutting it down the side because I think it would make an excellent tablecloth at the farmers markets. I've got a couple like scraps of burlap like this. If I got more, absolutely cutting armholes in this and wearing this would be incredible. Oh, that'd be a good point redemption. Put on the sack. and then I gotta put the sack on. Okay. So what we got here is a coffee that I'm kind of interested in because it is very different than the other. Goodness gracious. It is very different than the other coffees that I've roasted here on stream before. It is a Kenyan. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting's not very good. Kenyan coffee. So this coffee will need to get roasted a whole lot put on the sack and repent. This coffee is going to need to get roasted a whole lot lighter than the other coffees. That's a lot of beans. This is 20. So I've been buying them in this size. I've been buying them in 20-pound bags. I actually just bought 40 more pounds of beans today too, because I'm hoping to take this and combine it with some other coffees that I got and turn it into a nice blend. Oh, that's just I was like, what the hell's in the bottom of my bucket? And then I remembered I've put coffee in this bucket before. Yeah, no, when I've spent a fair amount of money at Sweet Maria's. I also bought I bought the bullet from Sweet Maria's too. So quite literally like thousands and thousands of dollars I've spent at Sweet Maria's. So once in a while they give you something nice. Okay. I've whined about this before. I really, really quite despise the way that they package coffee these days. Like, not that anybody from Sweet Maria's gives a rip about who I am or how I roast coffee, but if any of you have connections to Sweet Maria's, get them to stop shipping coffee in these stupid, stupid bags. At least for like 20-pound batches. I could see if I'm buying like, I don't know. I hate these bags. I think they're dumb. I think everybody who buys coffee in this amount gets $6 buckets from Home Depot that are food safe and puts their coffee in that. And that's the way to do it. But these bags suck. Hello. Oh, we got Cat, everybody.
Cat.
Bring him closer to the camera. That's Hank. He's very interested in being in here because he's normally not allowed in this room. Okay. Apologies for the loud. But yeah, any other suggestions for good point redemptions? I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I definitely want to get that singing fish. It's technically my sister's. I don't know if she has it still. If she does, if she took it last time she was home, I'm going to ask her if I can get it, or I'll just go find one. But, oh man, this on its own, even just as unroasted coffee, it smells fruity. It's so cool. This is a very lightly roasted coffee. I usually do not get coffees this light. I'm excited. That's going to be a tasty one. But we're just storing it for today. Because we have a little bit of this Guatemalan to roast still. Also, I like the way that there's nothing in that man's brain. Mine or the cat? I'm going to assume he probably meant the cat, but also not a whole lot going on upstairs here either. Singing fish. 1, singing fish. 2, sack. 3, do it to him. That'll be a good one too. That's a good one. All right, so let's take a look. Last time we were roasting coffee, this is what we ended up with. A thing that I like about having the logo in there is I had to change the aspect ratio of my views, and so I'm no longer cropping roast time, so you can see the full screen, whereas in the past it would get kind of cut off. So as you can see, well, maybe you understand these, maybe you don't quite, and either way, that's okay. I got some recommendations from Fat Beans Coffee Lab, fellow coffee roaster, shout out to Brian, on these roasts, because I've never quite been able to nail this coffee. I just can't do it. Now, after discussing with him a little bit, he's explained to me that I'm focusing a little bit too much on the charts, and I'm missing some of the fundamentals of coffee roasting when I'm like laser beam focused at this graph that I'm looking at. And that is absolutely a fair criticism. Absolutely a fair criticism, because it's 100% what I'm doing. So, one thing that he suggested was a slightly cooler preheat temp, which is why, as you can see, we've preheated the bullet to 280 degrees rather than 310 degrees. That fast preheat temp was building just a ton of energy and rushing us through that middle phase of coffee roasting without really developing a lot of the sweetness in this coffee that I've been trying to chase. So we are going to dial that back, hopefully shoot for like a 5-ish minute. Again, this is my first time doing this, so we're not going to be super picky, but about a 5-ish minute dry phase. And then hopefully that will have a slower but still steady progress that will move us through that browning phase, that middle phase, for like another 4-ish minutes. So we want that middle phase to be shorter than the dry phase, but not quite as short as it is right now. And then the development phase, what he kind of explained, yeah, sharks with laser beam focused, yeah, absolutely. Hey, congratulations on making affiliate. Thank you, Avgas Kool-Aid. Thank you for joining in. It's all you guys' help, right? In the title, I very specifically said we made affiliate. This is a community. I would not have made it to affiliate without your guys' help, so thank you. I'm not thrilled that I knew that this would happen, and I thought about just not accepting the affiliate thing when they gave it to me, because now they're going to start running ads on my channel, and I don't love that. I wish they wouldn't do that. I wish I could turn that off and just not take any ad revenue. But there will be ads. I apologize. Make fun of them in the chat or whatever. I have absolutely no control over what they run. Not at this stage. Maybe I could mess with it a little bit and get a little control, but anyway. What was I saying? Yeah, so we want to draw out that middle phase a little bit and maintain momentum going through development. So I kind of got to think about how I want to do this. And the bullet's nice and toasty. I should probably dump some coffee in her pretty soon, otherwise she's going to get real mad. We're going to still start at P9, I think. When did we drop down in here? I think at... We'll see what we're looking like. We'll start at P9. We'll go down to P8 when it crests. And then at a minimum, I'm going to say P7 once we hit yellowing phase. I want to start slowing things down a little bit. 100 bits. Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm excited for this. This is going to be fun. I've got some great ideas. I've been given some great ideas here for what I can do for point redemptions. We're gonna have some fun with this now. It's always been fun, but we're gonna have a little more fun. Hey, no, never done that before? Well, thank you. I need to set up the notifications so that you get like a nice pop-up on stream when that happens. I set them up for followers because I only ever got followers. That was like the only notification thing that mattered. But now that there's other things that matter, we can play with it. Also, the Twitch identity verification process is like stricter than the identity verification process that my job put me through. Like, what in the hell? They made me like take photos of myself and like send them in. But Jeff Bezos has officially deemed me worthy of monetizing my streams, which is fun. And it gives me all kinds of other fun features that I can play around with. Okay. 900 grams of coffee. 280 degree preheat. The room is warming up, right? That's an important thing, is ambient temperature. When I first come down here and fire up the roaster, it's chilly. It's a little warmer in here now. So, roaster's giving off plenty of heat. And it's freshly cleaned because we cleaned it last week. 900 grams of coffee. Charge. Switch view on roast time so we can all see what's happening as it's happening. We're off to the races. Another tip that I was given was that on these larger batches, I get 2 temperature readouts, one from the bean probe and one from the infrared bean sensor. And I'm told I should consider the temperature of my coffee to be whatever that bean probe is reading. So, or not whatever the bean probe, but whatever the higher number is, which you'll see around first crack, they'll swap, right? The infrared sensor will start reading lower than the actual bean probe. So, just something for us to consider, I guess. So let's see how this ROR is reading out. We want it to crest around 20. Doesn't have to be right at 20, but we will want this to kind of read 20-ish. 19's good. 22, 23 probably got a little hot. So we'll see though. It's starting to kind of level out. 20, 19, 20. Chef's kiss. I'm watching it kind of dipping a little bit. And well, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. Bean probe. That would be a cool band name. All right. That's where we're going to do it. Coffee roasting is occurring. I'm also trying to learn the smells of coffee as it's roasting. So one of the things that I still need to figure out some of the fundamentals of roasting coffee that don't have. I missed a lot of those fundamentals by just going down the path of software roasting. So, still learning them. Always learning. Always learning. But yeah, we're also going to start working on our very first coffee blend. I purchased a Brazilian coffee and a Honduran coffee that I think are going to go really nicely with that Kenyan coffee. And as we mix them together, I think it'll be real tasty. You know, we're at 170 degrees here. I'm going to call yellowing once we hit 170. There we go. 4:58. What did I say, baby? We wanted 5 minutes. And then P7. Oh, Avgas Kool-Aid. I see they've awarded you Bits Leader as the person who has given the most bits to the channel. So congratulations, Mr. Bits Leader. That's another cool thing too, is it'll start giving channel awards and stuff like that. Should probably kick the fan up too. That's something I forgot to do, was kick that fan up. All right, we're still moving along pretty nicely here. What happens when I press this button? Okay. So it switches which temperature readout it's giving me. So right now this is the IBTS temp, and then this one's the bean probe. So you can see the bean probe reads a lot lower than the IBTS. You can see them on the screen too. I think at around 190-ish, maybe 195, we are going to reduce the temperature, or reduce the power setting a little bit more again. And then I think we're going to take this to like 222-ish degrees, according to the bean probe. Or maybe we'll go a little hotter. We'll see. Maybe 190, 195, 190. Let's reduce power. Kick that fan up. Kind of liking the way that this is looking. I don't hate this right now. Definitely don't hate this right now. Starting to maybe hear some early snaps of first crack. We're roasting coffee. We're humming along. I think we'll maintain power through first crack. And then the coffee will naturally have a dip. And we will follow, at the bottom of that dip, we will mark, or we will reduce power again to kind of help it out. I think that's what we'll do. But I do kind of want to keep the heat on it. Starting to hear some snaps. That's good because we're right around 200 degrees. Starting to smell pretty good, and I'm starting to see that dip that I'm talking, or the fluctuation in ROR that I'm talking about. So I think, yeah, calm down. We're gonna mark first crack right there. 942. All right, so that's like a 440, 450-ish. Like middle phase. All right, so you're gonna see on that screen there how that dark purple and that light purple line, they're getting real close to each other. They're gonna switch. One's gonna start reading higher than the other. That is what I was talking about with the probe and that starting to kind of change readings. So we're gonna maintain power for now. We may choose to kind of reduce power a little bit here, but we'll see. Kind of like where we're at right now, and I want to kind of keep momentum going. I do want to keep this coffee a little bit darker. So, yeah, I kind of don't hate what we're doing right now with the coffee. Although, now there's a bit of a spike occurring. But I think I'm going to ride this out. I think I'm going to ride this out at P6 for now. Unless it starts going really crazy. But, you know, it can kind of accelerate a little bit too, because that was some of the guidance that I was given as well, was a slightly increasing ROR in, like, post first crack is not a big deal. It's not something to concern myself with. Calm down. It doesn't like that I haven't pushed buttons. So that's like a keep alive thing for it to make sure I didn't like fall over and drop dead or something. Okay. We're humming along a little bit here. Again, I'm not worried about where we're at right now. I think I'm still going to just let it ride with that temperature. And in fact, my bean temp is actually reading lower than my IBTS right now, which could be because I did just clean this. And so that bean temp is reading a little nicer. I'm going to reduce power. I'm going to kick my fan up a little bit. I'm going to stop it at 222, and then whichever one of those temperature readings comes out highest. My dryer is just finished. It's a little longer than I wanted this last phase to be, but not enough to where I'm worried about it. Well, maybe I am a little worried about it because we are. I didn't keep that momentum towards the end. It's interesting, but we're gonna call it here. And there we go. All right. What do we got going on here? Okay. I missed a bunch of chats here. I apologize. I think it's time for Shipwreck Coffee Roasters to seize the momentum of their new affiliate status and diversify. Roasted kombucha kimchi beans. Boutique individually roasted beans. Okay. Everybody roasts in batches. You can corner the market on roasting single bean batches. That would be horrible. Every part of that would be horrible. You want at least every bean that's in your cup to taste the same. like there's no way I'd be able to get every bean roasted exactly the same. Just sit there with a Bic lighter and like a little mini rotisserie, just kind of roasting it like that. That'd be fun. Okay, let's take a peek at roast time here. See what we got. I drew out that development phase more than I wanted to. I always do that. 14-minute roast time on the nose. That's interesting. So yeah, I mean, I wish we had more momentum going into first crack. I almost didn't need to go down to P7. We almost just kind of nailed it. But I kind of... Because I can't sneeze at this roast. This is a good roast. Ish. I don't know. We spent way too much time in the last phase, I think. I wanted to keep that moving a little faster. But I don't know. Do I increase heat? Do I reduce fan? Do I do something different with fan to speed that along? Because I feel like up until then, we were looking great. But then we had this dip, and we didn't recover from that dip. Until, I mean, it took like 3 minutes to bring the ROR back up to where we wanted it. So is that what I do? Is that the solution? Do I just increase temp? I think that's what I got to do. Modulate the temp, kick it up a little bit at first crack, just for a little bit. Just to help it keep that momentum. I never had to do that on smaller batches, but I think that's a limitation of the bullet. Is you got to kind of cheese the roaster a little bit. You got to kind of, because it loses enough momentum there that you just can't keep up. The roaster just can't keep up with the way that the coffee is losing power or losing energy. So you got to just give it a little more heat. That said, this is one of the best batches we've had. We made some serious improvements to a coffee. We looked at what we had. We made some adjustments. We got better results. Now we can look at these better results and say, hey, I can make these results even better. If we want to shorten the development time without adjusting much else, we got to add a little bit of heat during development time. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. I'm excited for this. So let's weigh this. $767 grams. Oh, and we're already charged up again. Alrighty. Ladies, ready to go. Alright, 767 grams. Let's mark this. Edit. Roast name 2023 0129. Batch 1. Guatemalan San Martin. Green weight 900 grams. Roasted weight 767 grams. Beautiful. Great work. Great job. You guys want to see something wild? Can in a can, baby. All right, so let's weigh out another 900 grams. And then if we find that increasing the heat speeds things up too much, we're going to take the coffee a smidge darker. That's how we'll compensate for that. Alrighty. $900 grams of coffee down the hatch. Alrighty. So yeah, we're going to keep the heat rolling. Oh, what was that sound? So remember, we're looking for this to land somewhere around 19, 20. It's climbing fast. I wonder if the roaster's just got way more heat right now than it did before. It appears that that might be the case. A little bit more heat. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's going to behave similarly to how it did last time. That'd be pretty cool. Because really, we only wanted to change one little thing. Give it a little heat after first crack. Give it a little gas. Now, last time we just reduced the heat without actually reducing the power or increasing the fan. We decreased power, increased fan. I think we're going to do something similar this time around. I'm just going to leave it there. See how that affects it. Roll it along nice. Feeling good about this one, y'all. Feeling good. They're starting to take a little bit of a yellow hue to them. But I can still see some green, so we're not going to quite mark yellowing yet. But we're getting there. We'll mark it at 170 again here. .507, so around the same time. That's good. Just within 10 seconds. Oh, and we're going to reduce heat and increase fan. We are roasting away. The avocado went bad for the sushi. We just bought the avocado today. What the heck? That's tragic. Absolutely tragic. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined. That sucks. Is there anything salvageable about it? It should still be tasty? Alright. Works for me. You know me. I am not picky. We are humming along good still. I have no interest right now in reducing temperature. As much as I constantly feel the need that I need to be like touching it and doing stuff with it. Also, I think that logo in the vertical form is going to look sweet on these bags. Like, these aren't huge bags. These are pretty small bags. And a little, like, tiny logo, I think is going to look really nice on them. We are roasting away here. Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to make any changes because, again, I think this looks great right now. All we're trying to do is speed up the development phase just a touch. I think we're spending too long there. I want to spend like 3-ish minutes there. And like I said, if it's moving a little quick, what are we doing? We're leveling out a little bit here. What are we doing? Not quite hearing first crack though. Which is okay. We don't have to be hearing first crack. Well, maybe a little bit. Any second now it's going to start cracking. It's a little weird that it hasn't started yet, but any second now. I'm starting to see that dip. The jump and the dip, I think, is a good sign that energy is traveling. There it is. Mark it. And then I said we're going to kick that up. We're going to kick the fan up a little bit too. Try to get some air moving through that roaster. A little more power, a little more air. Keep her chugging along. And then bean temp and IBTS temp are getting close, almost in like lockstep with each other, which I think is great. First crack is rolling along hard right now, which is what we want. It's looking pretty good, looking pretty good. Behaving a little strange maybe, but overall looking pretty good. All right, I'm going to back off a little bit. So I think our ROR has successfully recovered. I want to touch it real bad. Real bad. I want to touch it. But we're not going to. Yeah, we will. I touched it. I touched the butt. Not hating the way this is looking. Not hating it one bit. Not hating it one bit. Kind of liking it, actually. I think we're going to go a full 3 minutes post first crack. Maybe a little longer. No. Don't get cocky. Don't get cocky. We're going to take it to 222. We're going to drop it. That's what we're going to do. Illegal. I think I like that. I think I like that a lot. Let's take a look. I've got a good feeling. All right, so right off the bat, way quicker roast. Even though our marks happened at about the same time. Oh. That's it. That's it. Pack it up. Pack it up. We got it. These are the numbers that I was looking for. Okay. 40, 35, 25. All right, if we're going, I know, I have a tendency to think too much about the numbers, but that looks good. That looks good. We 5 minutes in pre-development, 4.5 minutes in, or 5 minutes in drying, 4.5 in that middle phase up till first crack, and then just about 3 minutes in development for a nice. This is going to be like another 15 seconds, and this probably would have started experiencing what we call second crack, where the coffee's just getting a little bit too dark, right? You're approaching that like Vienna phase. You know, Starbucks. This is like Starbucks blonde. This is like Starbucks blonde roast. Maybe a little darker than the Starbucks blonde roast, but this is like a hearty medium dark. I mean, just also great cameras that I've got these days. Look at that. Look at that. This is it. This is it. This is so good, I'm going to send it to some of my friends. I tried Starbucks Sumatra for the first time. Horrible. I almost died. I can imagine they just... You could probably get a similar effect by just going to... So, like, go to Walmart, right? Skip the grocery section and go straight to the back of, like, their home and garden section. And just pick up a big old bag of charcoal briquettes from like Kingsford. Take a hammer, smash those up a little bit, pour some water over that. You've got yourself a Starbucks Sumatra. There you go. Looks like a good roast. Thank you very much. It does look like a good roast. I think it's going to be really good. I told the Fat Beans Coffee and Pooks 105 that I owed them some coffee. I don't owe them coffee, but I like to send them coffee and get their thoughts on what I roast and how it goes. And I think I'm going to send them this. $7.72. Interesting. That's actually a little lighter than I would have expected it. I probably could have taken this a little bit darker, but I am not going to complain. I could have let this go a little bit longer, I think, but 2023 0129 batch number 2 bean Guatemala. Green weight 900 grams. Roasted weight 772. Like, the super dark roasts are okay with a shit ton of sugar and creamer, but it doesn't even taste like coffee at that point. It's like an entirely different drink. And, you know, I shouldn't trash on Starbucks. Starbucks has done a lot of really good things for the coffee world, if you'll believe that. For starters, it got people comfortable. Starbucks is like solely responsible for people being okay with spending like $6 or $7 on a cup of coffee, right? Because like at Starbucks, that's what a cup of coffee costs. It'll cost you like $6 or $7. So now when you go into your like specialty coffee shop, I mean the place that I used to go, it was like $3.50 for a cappuccino, right? Just a little cappuccino. It was delicious. Some of the best coffee I've ever drank was at that coffee shop. But like 10 years ago, if you told somebody you were going to charge them $3.50 for a coffee, I think they would have freaked out a little bit. Especially for just a cappuccino, like just espresso and milk, no other fancy doodad, right? Nowadays, people are like, yeah, okay, a good cup of coffee will be like $5 or $6. That's okay. And that's cool because it helps a lot of those smaller coffee shops be able to charge more and meet their financial needs. But objectively speaking, it is really hard to get a good cup of coffee at Starbucks. Their blonde roast is not bad. But they bill it as a light roast, and it ain't that. I'm going to kind of pick through this a little bit, actually, because I got some feedback from somebody that I sent some coffee to that there were a few not great beans in there. A few Quakers, if you will. Starbucks also popularized cappuccinos and latte. Yeah. Well, Maybe, I don't know. It depends on how you define popularized, right? Like, if you go into Starbucks and you order a cappuccino, and you go into like a quality coffee shop, like, and order a cappuccino, they are going to look so much different because like a specialty cappuccino or a specialty latte, they've got a much different kind of microfoam to them that you don't see at a Starbucks, right? That's Quaker. That's an exploded bean. I don't mind the exploded beans. I don't think they taste too bad. For reference, when I say exploded bean. So here's an exploded bean. Here's a Quaker. And then here's just like a regular normal coffee bean. Alright? I think that's focusing. So you can see the Quaker, it didn't grow correctly. It didn't either get enough sunlight or nutrients or whatever when it was growing. And so it actually turns out way lighter. And it'll impart a lot of like gross bitterness to the coffee that you might not want. This here is an exploded bean. And we call it that, or at least I call it that, because you can see a whole chunk of it just kind of blew away. Like when it cracked, it blew up. Now, they don't taste different, but aesthetically, some people don't like that. So if I'm trying to be like really picky, what I'm going to do is I take the Quaker and it goes in the trash. The exploded bean goes in my stash, and the good bean gets given away or sold or whatever. And you know, I'm not going to be super picky because, again, it's the Quakers that I care more about. I'd rather not have those in my roast. Not the ones I sell, at least. Yeah, so this one kind of got a little deformed. Not too bad. I'm going to keep that one for my own. Those are more like Quakers. And this is part of why we roast more coffee, right? We roast more than we'll go into a couple of bags because we got to do a little bit of quality control. In general, this is pretty good. Sweet Maria's does a really good job at picking through their coffees. I could say. But, you know, doing a little bit yourself, never a bad thing. Ooh, what happened here? What happened to you? You got all kinds of deformed. Check this one out. Look at what happened to you. You got like caught by a machine or something. Maybe my roaster caught you. Either way, your life ends there. All right. Let's bag this up. First, let's put labels on it. Guatemala. It is 129. But yeah, more than anything, though, talking about Starbucks, I think it just got people to spend more money on coffee, frankly. And that's good for the coffee industry as a whole. No longer were people okay with just... It's not that they weren't okay with it, it's just that they desired more than what they could get from, like, Starbucks, you know? Or not from Starbucks, from, like, Folgers. Right? They wanted just better coffee. And, coffee culture in the U.S. has never been too bad. The United States, you go into other parts of the world, and, like, people don't just have coffee makers in their homes like they do in the U.S. It's kind of like, I mean, instant coffee is what's super popular in most of the world. So, yeah, I mean, coffee culture, it's not too bad here. But there are a lot of places that I'd like to go to experience different kinds of coffee culture. A lot of culture in like Melbourne, Australia. I mean, they claim to be the birthplace of like the birthplace of the flat white. So, can confirm 90% of the coffee in the Middle East is either Turkish coffee or Nescafe. Turkish coffee is pretty good. In fact, I bought this along, like, when I started transitioning from being a channel that, like, made coffee and, like, made kind of fun beverages and stuff like that into a channel that roasted coffee. But I've got an e-brick. I could make, and I've got an e-brick and I've got a grinder that can go fine enough to do Turkish coffee. We could do a Turkish coffee stream. That would be fun. Oh, I didn't write on this. Oh, well. I haven't sealed the bag up. Going back in there. Heck yeah, absolutely. Abgas Kool-Aid, are you going fishing with us in a couple weeks? Get one of those sand-based heater things? Yeah, that'd be cool. I probably won't get one. Maybe I could rig one up. Take like a bunch of sand and put it in a pot and then put that pot on like some kind of heating element. Rig one up. Honduras or Guatemala. I really wish I could get a lot going on in February, though. Understandable. Understandable. It's more just curious than anything because I got to think about how much coffee I got to bring. So if you were going to be there, I got to bring you some coffee. There's no question about that. Oh no! Why did my scale turn off? Son of a biscuit. Son of a biscuit. Alright, come on. I need a new scale down here. That's what I need. I'm using like the world's crappiest scale. Purchased at Meijer for like $10. Alright, get a little bit of coffee in there so that it stands up. I appreciate it. Yeah, you got it, man. Alright, there we go. there we go. I'm really happy with how this batch turned out. I'm excited to taste it, and I'm excited to send it to some people. I think it's going to be real, real, real good. All right, well, I've got my coffee. I've got the coffee that I'm getting rid of or giving away. Roaster, working hard as always. Nice clean roaster, clean, happy roaster. We are affiliate, and I do mean we, because again, when I started doing this, I did not think we would make it this far. I mean, I first hit go live like over a year ago. It took forever to get to affiliate, but like, just kind of took off. Well, it didn't just kind of take off in the last couple weeks. Some of my fellow streamers that I've kind of met, my internet friends. There's no we in team. No. Yeah, some of my internet friends that I've met over the last few months welcomed me into their community and shared some followers with me, which helped me get to here. But yes, we made it. I'm going to start coming up with some emotes and stuff. I'll play around in Photoshop or whatever open source version of Photoshop I decide to use. Got a couple ideas. Probably pictures of cats. I'm thinking maybe I want to do... I think an emote of my shop vac and an emote of a fire extinguisher would be really good. Maybe an emote of a smoke detector going off or something like that might be fun. Stuff like that. We'll be goofy with it. Regardless, I appreciate each and every one of you for tuning in and hanging out. I'm calling it for the night, but I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I hope your coffee stays strong and your love for one another stays even stronger.